The uninvited guest had been terrorizing the vlogger for weeks. It all started with a few strange noises that couldn't be explained, but then things got worse. Objects started moving on their own, doors would open and close without explanation, and the vlogger began to feel like they were being watched constantly. One night, as the vlogger was editing their latest video, they heard a loud bang from upstairs. Fearful, they slowly made their way up the stairs, camera in hand. As they reached the top, they saw a dark figure dart into one of the rooms. The vlogger hesitated, but eventually mustered up the courage to investigate. As they entered the room, the vlogger saw that everything was in disarray. Clothes were strewn across the floor, furniture had been moved, and there was a strange smell in the air. The vlogger slowly turned around, and that's when they saw a pair of glowing eyes staring back at them from the corner of the room. The vlogger screamed and ran out of the room, heart pounding. They quickly grabbed their camera and started filming, explaining what had just happened. As they watched the footage back later, they saw something they couldn't explain, a shadowy figure darting across the screen. From that moment on, the vlogger knew they weren't alone in their home. The uninvited guest was still there, watching, waiting for its next opportunity to make itself known. As the days passed, the vlogger's fear only grew stronger. They tried to ignore the strange occurrences, but it was becoming harder and harder to do so. Objects would move on their own, the temperature in the room would drop suddenly, and the vlogger would often hear whispers in their ear when no one was around. The vlogger decided to seek help and reached out to a paranormal investigator. The investigator arrived at the vlogger's home and began to set up equipment to capture any evidence of the uninvited guest's presence. They conducted an EVP session, and to their surprise, they caught an eerie voice responding to their questions. As the night went on, the investigator set up a video camera in the vlogger's room, hoping to catch any visual evidence. However, the camera went dead after only a few minutes of recording. The investigator immediately checked the camera, but there was no sign of damage or malfunction. The vlogger was terrified, and the investigator could see that they were shaken. They urged the vlogger to seek professional help and offered to stay with them until they could find a solution. Days turned into weeks, and the uninvited guest continued to terrorize the vlogger. Finally, the vlogger decided to move out of the house and start fresh somewhere else. As they were packing their things, they felt a cold breath on their neck and heard a whisper in their ear. "I'll be coming with you," the voice said. The vlogger fled the house, never looking back. Even in their new home, they still felt the uninvited guest's presence, watching and waiting for its next opportunity to make itself known.